Alright, we can now add a service layer to return Elastic data in the controller. Let's first add a package called business and create an interface, Elastic Query Service. I will add three methods here: get document by ID, get document by text, and get all documents. In get document by ID, I get a ID string parameter and return Elastic Query Service response model. In the get document by text, I just get a string text parameter and return a list of response model objects. In the get all documents method, I just return a list of Elastic Query Service response model objects without a input parameter. Then I will create impl package and create the implementation class Twitter Elastic Query Service. Here I will add service annotation to make this class a Spring managed bean, and then I will implement Elastic Query Service interface and override the three methods. Let's create a transformer class at this point to convert Elastic model to response model. So I will create a package transformer in the Elastic Query Service and add a class Elastic to response model transformer. I will mark this class with Spring component annotation. Then I will add getResponseModel methods to convert a Twitter index model object to a Elastic Query Service response model object. I will use the builder method on the response model object and set all the fields from the Twitter index model object to the response model. So I set ID, user ID, text, and created at fields. Here in this second method, I will convert a list of index models to a list of response models. So I will create a stream from the input list, Twitter index models, and map it to response models, and then collect to a list of Elastic Query Service response model. As you see, I reuse the getResponseModel method here in this getResponseModels method. Then I can inject this transformer to the Twitter Elastic Query Service class. I will also inject Elastic Query Client from the Elastic Query Client module. And as the generic parameter, I will use Twitter index model here. Now I can implement the methods for Elastic Query Service. For getDocumentById, I'll call the query client's getIndexModel method and convert the returned object using the transformer class. Before returning from these methods, I will log an info message. For getDocumentByText, after logging an info message, I will call the query client's getIndexModel method, and I will again use the transformer class's methods to do the conversion from the index model to the response model. And finally, in the getAllDocuments method, I will call the corresponding method in query client and transform the result. Again, I will log an info message before returning from the getAllDocuments method. Now let's change the controller class to call the service layer that we have created. I will inject the Elastic Query Service and call its methods here in the controller methods, so that instead of returning the mock objects, I will return the real results from Elasticsearch. Here I will simply replace the right-hand side of the assignments with the Elastic Query Service calls in all methods. In all methods, I will use the injected Elastic Query Service object and call the corresponding methods. After doing these changes, let's run Elastic Cluster first. Then I will run config server and finally run the Elastic Query Service. If you call the REST API from the Postman, now I should see the real results from Elasticsearch. Let's try all three endpoints. First, I will call the post endpoints using getDocumentByText, and I will send a text test in the JSON body. As you see, it returns a single document. Then I will use the get endpoints. First, I will send a document ID 1 after the documents, so I will send document/1 and it will return the document with ID 1. Then I will remove the ID and use only the document's URI at the end of the endpoint. So it will return all the documents as you see here. Great, we got correct responses from all three endpoints. In the next lecture, I will continue adding validation and controller advice to the controller layer. So I will see you in the next lecture.